Hello, everybody, and welcome back. We had some technical problems, so we didn't have our lovely intro song. Um, yeah, I know, but we're on. Hi.
Yeah.
Uh,
Hello.
Hello.
Just
Um,
say hello.
Speaking about technical issues, we have a webcam down and a player down. So we're making do anyway. You get to enjoy this lovely profile picture of probably Tarak.
Zom zom.
So you
Ita kabu.
so you actually know what it looks like. Ta-da!
Wow. I thought you guys were all using profile pictures.
Yeah, we'll just switch between them really
Yeah, yeah,
fast so it
yeah,
looks like.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Ellie doesn't have a fabulous hair anymore.
Oh, no, true.
It's like maybe a stubble right now, coming back in golden patch. It's tiny, tiny. Mm, so yeah, we are back.
Yay! I hope everybody's safe and healthy, and all your loved ones are good. Stuff like that.
Yeah. Hope you have plenty of toilet paper, but not too much.
Oh god. Okay, so yeah, we're missing one player, and but luckily our friend Tarak is back in action. And let's just dive right in because I don't think anybody else has anything to say, right? Or am I wrong? No, well, here you're right. Okay, great. Then we could just get started.
Yeah.
Um, Everybody had a relatively good night's rest, and it was already somewhat late in the morning, early afternoon, as you guys all had your 8 hour sleep. But before we get to you guys, I want to hop over to Tarak for a short while.
All right.
Tarak, you had a similar experience as the rest of the party.
Mhm.
You also had you just suddenly appeared in this tunnel hallway with all these sharp objects on you, and I won't run through it as the way as you did as I did with the other players, but I'm assuming you kind of went through it as well and passed through it. If you say I do different things or that's absolutely not right, please interrupt me. Uh, and you will also have have arrived at this door. And after a while, seeing as you're a half orc and not afraid for little bit of pain, you manage to just open the door and step through it. However, where everybody else at that point is teleported back to their original dimension, you had a different experience. You entered an arena, and in this arena, you had to fight, and you had to fight quite intensively and quite hard. And you have been fighting against many strange creatures. Um, some of them looked almost humanoid, but most of them were just blobs and entities. And I'll leave it up to you to see how you got into your first fight. If you're immediately aggressive, beating on things, or if you had them kind of deliver the first punch. What would Tarak do?
Um, I think because of what the realm was like, that it was basically attacking you
Yeah.
with the spikes and all that. I think he would be very much like on the edge, kind of just expecting to be assaulted at any time. So as soon as he appeared on an arena, is the arena trying to mimic like what the type of arenas he is accustomed to look? Okay.
Yeah. So it's really like a coliseum where the benches were empty and stuff, and there weren't really benches, but it was like this massive pit.
Empty arena match.
Exactly. And the first thing you actually see in this arena is like a almost like an octopus kind of creature. Not very fast, but having many tentacles that tried to grab you, and there were points on its tentacles and stuff. And so, yeah, that was the first thing that you see. And it was immediately kind of, its tentacles were coming towards you as soon as you appeared in this arena.
Okay. Well, I think Tarak would have had the sort of self-preservation kind of thing going on, where he wouldn't treat it as an arena battle per se, where he would follow any kinds of rules of conduct or anything like that. It would very quickly become like, can I find like a blunt object or a sharp object to just stab and smash it with, like just to fight for my life, biting, clawing, all that sort of thing.
Exactly. Okay. So you probably beat this first creature, but others appear, and as you beat more and more of them, everything kind of becomes hazy to you, and you feel wounds more than the ones that you've already accumulated through your travel through the hallways. Appear cuts of spikes, but also weapons are being used against you. And you're really fighting clearly for your life in this case. And as you are beating up one of your last opponent, all of a sudden you disappear again, and the rest of the party will notice that Tarak is bloodied and bruised and just kind of pummeling something that was clearly underneath him, but now he's just hitting the ground and the grass that you guys just got up and said, like, oh, what do we do?
Thankfully, it wasn't Cal.
No. Oh, wait, actually, no.
I would think that he would also, uncharacteristically for being a monk, somebody who's very, trained to have a strong will and to keep a hold of his faculties and all that in these kind of high stress situations. I think the experience, first of all, because he doesn't really understand all that much about magic, he doesn't know about different universes, realms, planes, any of that stuff. All of this is so kind of nightmarish and kind of messing with his mind, that when he does appear and he is smashing the ground, he is doing it much more savagely than a monk would, let's say.
Yeah.
Like there's kind of like a wheezing kind of grunts coming out of him, and he looks a little manic while he's punching.
Yeah, and you'll all notice, and Tarak, you yourself haven't really noticed this that much, to this extent, I would say more. You guys will see Tarak is covered in wounds and cuts and pieces of skin missing and stuff, and he looks like he's been through hell.
I think he got the subpar wine too.
Tarek, it's okay. Stop. Shh. Okay, stop hitting the ground.
How will that affect Tarak? Like, do I need to make some sort of will save, or will he just snap out of it and realize?
I'll leave it up to you. It's your own character development. So what you want to do with it?
I think because I am a half orc, I think I will want to make a wisdom check, just because I do want to keep that savage side in there, even though I'm a monk.
Go ahead.
Okay, that's natural 20.
There you go.
So as soon as Ellie comes and talks to me, I will indeed snap out of it and immediately stop in my tracks and just look at her, and I'll just kind of have like my teeth will be kind of shaking, like my lip isn't quivering, but my teeth are gnashing like an addict or something like that, like kind of like somebody who's in shock kind of thing. And he'll just look at Ellie and be like, "What was that?"
Uh,
That fucking door, am I right? Alright.
I think they said the gem. I don't know. What happened to you?
They ganged up on me. I'll kind of look around my body with all the cuts and stuff like that, like I crawled into some sort of a tunnel and entered through a doorway into some sort of like some sort of a death match arena. I'm not entirely sure. There's nothing I've ever faced in my lifetime. Are these bad? How bad are they? I'm pointing at my wounds.
Sit.
I'll sit, but even though Tarak knows, medicine and all that, he's concerned that these are somehow magical. That's something he doesn't understand.
Have we had a long rest or not?
Yeah. You guys had a long rest. Tarak has.
Okay.
Since he asked Ellie how bad they are, she's actually gonna try to figure it out and take a look at them.
Roll your medicine.
Yeah. 15.
15.
Yeah.
You carefully examine Tarak,
Yeah.
and do you allow this Tarak do you allow her to examine you?
Of course.
Yeah. Okay. Again, correct me if I'm wrong, but correct me if I'm wrong, Tarak. But Ellie, if you examine him,
Yeah.
the first thing you notice is his muscles are tense and are now at this point slowly coming down from survival mode, and it was clear that whatever happened, he was fighting for his life. And as you see the wounds, they're from many different Orients. What do you call
Sources.
Yeah. Different sources. So you see cuts, you see bruises of clubs or fists. You see quite a few spikes points as well. But you even see on his right arm, there's not a massive bit, but there's about this part of a thing on his arm where there's just a piece of skin is just missing. It just was ripped off or something. And yeah, it looks. It's not deadly, but it's clear that he has had a hell of a fight.
While she's looking over my body, I'll just kind of be wiping, like I'll be panting like through my mouth, and I'll be like wiping my completely wet from blood hair back from my face, just panting.
Yeah, and there's not just red blood, but there's blackish, gooish substance in your hair and on your skin as well from any other monsters that you killed.
She's gonna use prestidigitation on him as she goes to clean him up a bit.
That
because
helps a lot.
She probably can't see very well in some parts, and some things just look dirty, and it's just hard to tell what's him and not him. And go. I'm not very very good at medicine. Like mostly not, but I think he'll live. He looks kind of bad, and glances towards Wheeler
Um,
and Gemini, like,
Gemini will walk up, and as he's walking, he'll start singing, and he'll be like, "Curing time, close all of those cuts, and let Terra heal from those wounds." And he'll cast Healing Word at level 2.
There you go.
Wheeler will come over with like food and stuff. So I would assume, I don't know how late in the day is it. Like, would he have been preparing a meal? Well, he would always be preparing a meal, but which meal would he be preparing? Particular time.
brunch.
You guys have just woken up, so but it's around 12, around midday right now.
Brunch.
Yeah,
Yeah, so brunch
That's
probably.
right.
the
Yeah,
breakfast
so
lunch.
he'll come over with like whatever he's made. I don't know whether I would assume Cal's probably caught some meat, or there's some meat left over from.
There's some meat left over. Cal is sitting in a corner, and he's not really paying attention. He's kind of looking at his bow that he's holding. Tarek, I haven't specified how much damage you obtained during all this fight, but you can assume that you have at this point 5 hit points left.
Okay.
So
You have gained 8.
there you go. Gemini heals you 8.
All right. Nice.
Wheeler will come over with food and stuff and be like, "Here, you must be starving, lad. Here, have," and just like
Yes,
puts
yes.
a bloody buffet in front of you.
Eat helps. Eating helps. Eating always helps.
I'll look down at the food and start picking at it, and I'll just say, "Thanks, brother," and I'll just start to munch on it.
All right.
Is my even though I got healed, do I have like my jaw or teeth or anything like that? What level of pain am I in?
You are a monk, so you're accustomed to having pain, but you are definitely hurting, and I'll leave it up to you what specific wounds are hurting for you. So,
Well, I'll just well, Tarak will be in the sort of pain around his face that he'll be mostly like pinching his food with his fingers and just swallowing the bits that he's pinched so that he doesn't bite on his food due to the pain.
all right.
But yeah, it'll be it'll be pretty serious.
Yeah, Ellie, you can definitely tell that the magic that Gemini has released upon Tarak helped a lot, but there are still wounds there, and there are still bruises, and you're sure that there are. You can see the external ones, but you're sure there are internal ones as well that will definitely cause him pain.
Yeah. Especially probably since when I examined him, probably touched
Yeah.
especially felt out the bruises, and I can probably see on his reaction at some point as well. Like some places hurt more than others, even though there might not be as much visible things yet.
Exactly.
I think you need to take it easy and not strain yourself too much. So if there's a fight, don't rush in first.
I'll try.
Like, stay next to Gemini. He doesn't usually go into the middle of things.
Except to kill wizards.
Usually, I said.
What happened while I was gone?
Not much. I don't, you've been gone like 6-8 hours.
By the way, Tarak, you will notice that even though they've all had their long rests, especially Wheeler, but pretty much all of them have healing cuts and scars on them as well. Things that you didn't notice before you were teleported.
Okay. Yeah, I was thinking that Tarak would have no idea that everybody went through that same kind of world, except for Wheeler mentioning the door. That, of course, kind of like, oh, okay. but still.
So, I mean, you didn't.
It's like hard for him to comprehend how everybody else seems to be so unscathed, and I went through that, so I'm expecting that everybody had a different experience or something.
Yeah. You
No, we're
didn't,
just hard as fuck, mate.
you didn't come back when the rest of us came back. You said you fought things? Like, well, obviously you fought things, but you fought a lot of things?
Yeah. They were all, I don't know, nightmare material. I've never seen anything like them.
Did you see any creatures? Except a tiny mouse?
What?
On the ground, on the floor, like if you bled on it, it turned into tiny mouse that ate all the blood.
No, I did not see that.
There was mouths.
Yeah, there were many of them, and they were like really teethy and they were bitey.
Were we all in the same room area?
Yeah, no, it was just pointy stones, wasn't it?
Yes, that's what I experienced.
Yeah, pointy stones.
No,
Maybe pointy stones, but pointy
stones.
stones.
So they were pointy. They weren't pointy from the start. It like specifically changed.
All right, fine, magic pointy stones.
Yes. It's important, and they had mouths.
There were, I can't even begin to describe them. There were endless amounts of arms and that bent like they had no bones, and shapeless, formless horrors. Just horrors. I don't have the words.
Yes, you went to a different place.
Yeah.
He went to Ireland after they shut the pubs. Sorry. Everyone in Ireland and Northern Ireland is very sober right now, and they're not liking it.
The horror.
This is it.
You know what always makes me feel better when it's been something really, really, really troubling?
Prostitutes.
No,
Friendship.
that's you.
Oh.
She's gonna turn around and pick up Fluffles. Fluffles, Tarek is not feeling too great. He probably needs a hug. And I'm gonna place Fluffles in Tarek's arms and say, stroke him gently. He likes it.
Okay, it sounds like prostitution.
It's not. It's petting a cat.
Oh.
Yeah, but you gave him the cat. Did the cat say that this was okay? I don't speak it. Quick.
If the cat is not okay, then he will walk away.
Use your ring thing. See what the cat's thinking.
Comprehend languages.
Right. Talk to the cat.
Are you you're being handed the cat? What do you do?
That's like he just clears the.
I keep pinching the foods that I was pinching for myself, and I give some to the cat.
Do you pick it up or do you hold it or?
I'm guessing I was sitting on the ground, like in a kind of like folded legs folded kind of position. So I'm guessing the cat just came to my lap, and I'll hold like with my one arm. I'll be holding the cat's chest with my arm laying on its side, and with the other arm I'm pinching food for it to eat.
All right. You see it kind of is picked up and put on your lap, and it kind of looks a bit like what? And you just hold it carefully and start offering it food, and it looks at you almost like, yes, this person is offering me food. This is good, and it just it starts eating the food that you offer it, like, and you feel its fur kind of pressing up against your stomach, like, there you go. That's your reward.
Oh, there we go.
Yes, he's very good at listening and just being there.
I'll be petting him.
Hey, little brother.
You just assume it's gender.
Everybody's a brother to Tara.
Yeah, even Ellie.
True.
Yeah.
Very true.
Yeah.
Did you just assume our sibling status?
So after a while, it actually he just looks and just kind of leans up against you and slowly starts to kind of lie down and you hear it soft.
And Ellie like nods. This is how it's supposed to go. It helps.
Yeah, I'll just be smiling and petting it while I'm pinching stuff. My eating takes a long time because I'm meticulously just pinching the food and putting it in my mouth.
You're noticing, by the way, Ellie, which is kind of at first it's a bit unsettling. The size difference of Tarak's hands petting small little fluffles compared to your tiny hands that are petting him. He's like he just uses like his finger just to pet him, like, and it's almost like, oh yeah, okay, yeah. It's he's clearly trying to be careful, but he's just way bigger than you are, and Fluffles is not accustomed to such big hands. But he seems okay with it.
Okay. He's very good at walking away if he's not okay. So
yeah, exactly.
He's not too worried. Except that hand could probably crush his head.
Yeah.
No, but Tarek's cool. Tarek's cool.
Yeah, I wasn't there when its identity was revealed.
Yeah.
No, Tarek's cool. She doesn't have to worry about Tarek.
Is this also food? Oh no! So yeah, you guys sit there and Tarek eats, and Cal is kind of walking around and is just he seems troubled.
Cal, come. Have a lengthy conversation with us.
He walks up to you and says, "What do you want to talk about?"
That doesn't. Cal, your voice has changed.
Yes, I don't.
What happened to you, man?
You sound like some of the villagers I recall. But
Yeah.
what's wrong with you? Why is this?
He looks and says,
Nuclear who dis.
"Ellie, you're good with fixing stuff, right? Can you give it a try?"
Sure. Sometimes.
Oh, speaking of which, boots.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you fixed our clothes yet?
She's gonna take the boots and lift it up, or like hold it up, look at it,
Cast
mend one of them, and then toss it as far as she can.
Catch with mage hand.
All right. Ellie, roll your athletics. Gemini, roll your acrobatics.
22.
Nope.
Your mage hand kind of flies towards it, but it just goes like goes way past it.
Take the mended boot. Thank you. Put it on and go after my other boot.
As you
By
see
myself.
Cal kind of standing there with a bowstring that is oddly snapped, he looks at you and kind of goes like, "Well, maybe I'm not going to hand it to you."
No, it's okay. I will help you because you didn't like nag all evening.
Wouldn't
Like
have nagged if you hadn't done it the first time.
He carefully hands it to you.
I was exhausted and tired, and it was very stressful, and I didn't feel like it. She will mend it.
All right, you kind of do like almost like the illusionist kind of trick where you hold the thing and you hold both ends in your hand and go like, "Ooh," you're like, "Funk." It's
Doing it
still
very
broken.
elaborately so Wheeler sees it. Like,
Yeah, you're like, "Ooh," but you are like, "What the heck happened?" Because you kind of ta-da, and you still have two ends in your hand.
Wheeler claps.
wait, what? Is this
Gemini from somewhere in the forest. Well done.
is this not a normal bowstring?
No, it's the normal one.
She Tries again. Come on, come on,
You go like,
come on.
all right.
Okay,
No,
Come
this
on,
time.
forget the fancy part. You just
Mend.
You- and nope, still 2 parts.
Blair walks over and he's like, "Oh, Giz,
Mend.
give us Spacey. I will show you how this is done." And Wheeler will hold his hands out for the string.
If you know how it's done, what didn't you mend your own fucking shoes?
Yeah.
Because you see, let me show you.
Okay.
Don't
Yeah.
damage it more.
Takes the 2 ends and then ties them in a knot together, or ties them together, and he's like, "There you go."
Why didn't I think of that?
Big brain man. What can I say?
Is that let me try it now when they're stuck together. Mend.
He unties it, but still 2 parts. And by the way, it's not just 2 parts. There are several parts, but you try to get the first 2 parts
Yeah.
together.
She's wanna take all the parts and try all the parts together at once,
Mhm.
not just 2 of the parts.
Nope.
Okay, give me a moment. She's gonna sit down and put all the stuff in her lap and hold it real carefully and really feel or try to feel where the magic isn't working or how it's not working if she can figure it out.
All
Like,
right, roll your Arcana.
basically, does she feel her magic going into it even at all, or is she just bouncing off or something?
By the way, Ellie and Wheeler, you can both tell, even though he hides it reasonably well, Tarak seems tired, seems drained.
Tarak, you seem tired. You seem drained. Role playing.
We are the best.
Oh, this is what the people tune in for. Yeah, this is just wow.
People what they want.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right.
Yeah, Tarak will just kind of he'll just kind of nod without looking into his direction at all. He'll just be like,
Yeah, I am.
And Ellie's just gonna look at Wheeler like, isn't that obvious? Why did you have to mention it? Cause, come on, he just had to fight all night when we slept. What do you think's gonna happen? She gives him that look.
Rest for 8 hours and then back to full health. That's
Like,
fine. Everything, all the wounds still shut. Isn't that right?
So, Ellie, roll your Arcana.
yes, I rolled 14,
14.
but I am proficient in it.
Which means
I do not know. I'm trying to make it seem higher than it is.
okay, yeah.
Respect.
Wow, yeah. Okay, yeah. Well, in your professional opinion, you
Don't know shit.
you have the feeling there's this string was not damaged in a regular way. There is, as far as you can tell, a slight residue of magic left in the string, which prevents you from mending it.
Cal, I don't know what you did to this string, but there's like some other magic blocking me. I don't know how this broke, but it's like not accepting the healing. Mending. It's not healing, it's mending. Fixing.
Yeah. So I tried to use the string in the new bow that I got,
Can I
it
look
didn't
at
accept it.
Can I look at the bow?
He's somewhat hesitant. Sure. He hands it to you.
She's gonna try to get a feel for whatever magic is in it.
You start to examine it. Roll your Arcana.
10.
10. Yeah. Nah. It's probably magical. You're pretty sure about that.
Mm.
But, well, it's not that funny. And, but it's, yeah, other than that, its colors change, apparently. But that's pretty much all you can tell from it.
I'm not getting much. Sorry.
That's okay. He
I
takes back
thought
the
it
bow.
was worth a try.
He holds the bow and just goes like, okay.
Maybe you need a magical string for it.
Yeah. I was just trying to get it to work, but well, the only annoying thing is I don't have a spare string on me.
Oh.
Yeah, we'll have to see.
Would Gemini be making his way back yet?
Yeah, you're probably already back.
She's not that big. She probably doesn't throw it that far.
Yeah.
Yeah, she threw it and landed like 2 feet in front of her.
Hey, Rose, I'm just here to pick up my shoe.
Do you? Go ahead. I was gonna ask Kel something. Go ahead.
At least basically you're thinking, do I have a bowstring? No. Wheeler, do you have a bowstring?
I have. Well. Oh no, sorry. Actually, I thought I had a short bow, but I don't. I have string.
Is string
Not the
gonna
same.
work? Oh,
No.
no.
I didn't think it was him.
Oh, well. I'm sorry. I don't have any.
Kel, do you have any other weaponry?
I have no idea. Does Cal have any other weapon?
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, he has swords and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
I think he's got two short swords or 2 rapiers or something like that. I vaguely remember him going toke on something with two swords at one point.
Yeah, exactly. Like teleporting and stuff, and yeah.
So, what? You're an archer, so that leads me to believe you've broken strings before. Do you not keep spares?
Well, usually they're reasonably easily fixed, but I couldn't fix this one.
Do you not know how to make them?
Does he?
Is that even a skill thing?
He has some leather working. I don't know. Strings are usually made out of intestines, right?
Nope.
Yeah. Sinew.
Sinew.
What is sinew?
Like tendons and shit.
Oh, right. Yeah, exactly. Intestine. Yeah. So, yeah. So yeah, he's just like, yeah, I could probably make some, but yeah, I use a specific type, but I can make one to make do for now. Can I borrow? He kind of looks at you, Wheeler. Says, "You have a bow, right?"
I have a crossbow.
Oh, give it here. I'll go get something.
No.
Come on, Wheeler. Sharing is caring. I'll
Then
fix
go
your
hunt.
boots if you let
I
me
don't.
lend it.
I don't wear boots. Were you not here in the last session?
Do we not have
Talking about your
plenty
boots.
of animal?
No, I was complaining about my clothes in general. They're all ragged, and I'm completely naked right now, apart from my magical cloak. Because I'm waiting on you to fix my clothes.
I'll fix them if you let him borrow it.
May
No.
I with an alternate? you hunted this morning before your string broke. We should have sinew here.
Yeah,
Well,
but it's not
probably
big
eat it.
enough. I just got some hairs. I need a bigger animal.
Well, Wheeler, give him your sinew.
No.
Then give him your crossbow.
Give him your
Those are your
crossbow.
options.
He doesn't
I
have
Give him your
one.
sinew.
I have no sinew. I'm a dragon man. You can.
Give
You
him
know
your
not
sinew.
what I am. Nope.
Takes out his
You know
crossbow.
not what
Let's
this
find out if he has sinew. Oh, yeah.
Gemini takes out his mouth. So that is his weapon.
Ellie's gonna walk up to Wheeler and
Oh, my pop.
and grab the crossbow from underneath so she doesn't accidentally like grab anything that will hurt her. And go. Let go.
No. Yeah, like start kicking at her with his feet. Like, get off.
Precipitation. Yes, really, really sparkly in front of his eyes. Let
Solar flare.
All right. It's slightly annoying, but nothing terrible. You're like, there are sparkles in front of my eyes. Big whoop.
Yeah, no, it doesn't affect me holding on to things, surely. It's like,
No, and it's not even. It doesn't even impede your vision that much. It just needs to look.
let me see. Yeah, prestidigitation right back at you, with flashlights in your eye. Like, yeah, how'd you like it? Fuck yeah.
Oh, come on, let him borrow it. You have other stuff you're using anyway, right?
No, I have a dagger, and I'm shit with it.
But you're small and quick, and no one will notice you because you're the best at hiding.
I have nearly died twice, and that was staying at a distance. I know.
Forget it. If you don't want me to borrow it, I won't borrow it. But until we kill something that is large enough for me to make a new string, then I can only use my swords.
I will happily come with you to hunt something. I'm sneaky as fuck.
He looks at you. Let's go. Tara can probably use some rest, right?
Oh, I've been sleeping while all this went down.
There you go.
In the corner with Fluffles. Brother.
Exactly.
If they walk off, Ellie's actually gonna be nice and mend Gemini's other shoe
Hey, thank you.
and mend her own shoes if she haven't done that right. I can't recall. And last, after mending other stuff, she will mend Wheeler's clothes. Which I assume he walked off without.
If the word man, well, no. If he was actually walking out of the camp, he would have put at least some of his clothes back on. He might have left like his jacket or something sitting.
She will
Still.
mend that
All right.
and hide the
So-
stinky smell in it.
As Wheeler and Cal are out, Ellie, you especially are a bit charmed by your cat because he's lying up against Tarak's beard, and it's kind of like in his neck, and just kind of lying there like.
Oh, very cute. That's very, very cute.
And well, you and Cal go out for hunting.
I tidied my desk, and I don't know what I did with my dice. Oh,
Disgrace.
up there.
There you go. Well, you don't need to roll because you're just following. But as you guys kind of move around, and Cal takes you to spots that he believes are good for finding larger animals. There you go. You don't find any. You stay gone for about an hour, hour and a half, maybe even 2. But after a while, he says, "No, nothing. No tracks. At least none fresh. Fresh enough to chase. We best go back to the camp, and we'll try it again at a later time."
Sure.
So you guys head back, and well, you return. What if you and Ellie done meanwhile, Gemini?
Gemini's probably just sewing patches on his clothes, doing nothing, playing with his cards.
All right, Ellie.
Well, she would have mended stuff. And then she would have watched Fluffles sleep for like a minute, because it's always cute to look at Fluffles. And then she would have what would she done? Take a look at what Gemini's doing.
Just throwing his cards in the air and catching them.
And did you really not see the tiny mouths?
No, I didn't. There were mouths in your hellscape.
Well, I did try to hit the floor first, and then it stabbed me back, so I bled on it. And
Yes.
then when the blood was on the ground, the mouth came out.
Yes, I didn't see any of that. I mocked the floor viciously, one would say.
I managed to blacken it, and nothing else really seemed to happen. It was very strange, and then I got shook around, which was very rude.
Yes, no, that happened to me as well.
That
They
happened to
ping-ponged me around the room for a bit before I broke down the door and chose to make it my new shoes.
you. Made the door into shoes.
Yes.
Did you not exit the spell when you went through the door?
Oh, I did, but first I wanted to take something from it.
Oh, so you could break down the door. Is the door not part of it?
I don't know.
I don't know.
When I came out, the planks that I had festooned to my feet were gone, so I assume it was. But it was a brittle part of it. Under my rage, God bless you.
Ouch.
So, coronavirus.
Yep.
It's a cough, not a sneeze.
That was both. That was what you call a sneeze.
Okay.
Sneeze.
No, but strange. I don't know. It was very strange. It was kind of scary, actually.
It was more annoying than scary for me. But yes.
Oh, check out Mr. Badass.
That's just not what scares him. Spiky floors.
No, the mouth.
Well, I didn't see the mouth, so.
Do you think it might happen again?
Yes. Definitely. Probably while we sleep.
Not funny.
Not entirely joking. I don't know how this works.
But I don't know. I didn't like the place. And what if it happens like Tyre's like strong? He can handle himself in a fight. But like, what if Wheeler gets stuck in there?
Wheeler is capable.
Bitch.
He's like helpless.
He's taller than you.
Marginally.
Yes, but
Not
still.
necessarily.
No, I think it's marginal. I think originally he was smaller because I forgot that I'd made a halfling and thought I'd made a gnome, and so I'd made him a lot smaller than what he should have been.
Yeah. No. Yeah,
Yes.
but I don't know. It's just weird.
Yes, it's quite weird. That's why we're
true.
going to the priests in Kellenvor to expunge this curse and hopefully be able to kill two birds with one stone. Which we should be going rather soon, by the way.
Yeah.
Why? What bird are you killing?
You're not there.
Yeah, I know this is Vince talking.
We're going to kill your owl.
Yeah.
But
I don't know. I just wanted to like see if you notice. You're usually pretty good at those magic things.
I have some capability, yes, but I don't. I've read books. That's the extent of my knowledge. And from what I know of demons, they have powers that are undiscernible to common people. So I don't know what the extent of his capabilities precisely are, how often that can happen, when it will happen next, which is one of the reasons we should be going swiftly.
Mm. Do you think there might
Because
be a book about demons?
oh, definitely there are books about everything.
We should find a book about demons.
Yes, you know who might have that, the priest.
Yes, but I'm just saying that we should find it. Because
Yes, we should.
like, if they don't know, maybe the book knows.
Yes. And I'm
Yes.
I'm certain they will. I mean, for what I know of the man, Varen seemed quite attuned to that whole fiendish world. He seemed to know of it. And
Mm.
so I think he may have more information than we currently do. So when
Yeah.
the others arrive, we should probably head out.
Yeah. And then we will just walk slowly, so Tarek doesn't exert himself too much, and we will just
Yes.
camp in a good spot tonight and let him take firstly, not take any watches.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
All right.
Right.
So, Cal and Wheeler return, and Cal informs you that sadly they didn't find any large enough animals to hunt.
Hmm.
So it's decided that you guys move on. Who wakes Tarek?
Gemini will.
All right.
He'll shake him. Wake up! Wake up! It's time to go.
When you shake him, he will wake up, like startling wake up, and he'll grab you by the wrist, but immediately recognize who you are and let go.
Oh, sorry, brother.
As soon as he grabs him by the wrist, Gemini's just going to cock an eyebrow and be like, "Are you going to make this worth my while?"
Of course.
Hey,
Fluffles will kind of crawl off of you and walk over to Ellie.
He wants to get out of the way of that
And she will pick him up.
before
and be
Tarek
like,
gets the oil out.
Good job, Fluffles. Good job. And just like hug him.
All right. So, you guys start to travel onwards?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah? All right.
What about, does that count as a short rest, or are we?
Yeah,
just
this will
gonna-
count as a short rest. Yeah. Yeah. So, you've expended, as you kind of came back here, you've expended all your key points. So, you'll return those. And if you want, you could spend some hit dice to heal yourself.
Well, I have 13 at the moment, so. Yeah, sure. I don't
You know
have-
how that works, right? To use hit dice to.
Actually, it's been I don't actually know if I've ever used short rest before.
There you go. As a short rest, you can expend your hit dice. You have your normal amount of dice that you have that you roll when you go up a level. So I believe in your case it's a D8, right?
I think so. I can't recall for sure, but
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's a D8 for monks. And so you have the amount of hit dice equal to your level. And you can, for every hit dice that you spend, you roll a D8 and you regain that amount of hit dice. I'm not 100% sure if you can actually add your constitution score to all the roll. Can somebody please check that for me?
how often can you
Yes,
spend
you can.
those hit dice?
Yeah. You can spend them once, but you regain them half of your level in hit dice per long rest.
Okay, well, I'm expecting that we'll get a long rest
Yeah.
soon enough.
And
so-
you don't have to decide how many hit dice you spend immediately. So you don't have to say, okay, I'll spend 4. You can just roll one and then decide if you want to use an extra one. And after that, you can decide to use an extra one if that's what you want. But you
All
can.
right. I think I'm at 13 and my maximum is 39, so I think I'm just gonna roll as many as it takes to get either almost full or to full.
There you go. So
Yeah.
you can roll as many hit. And did somebody check? Does he get it every roll, or does he get it once per spending his hit dice?
Every roll, the way I read it, I'm just gonna check if he has something special. Let's see. Tarak, open. I might not be able to see actually. But this is Constitution, right? So that's +1. Yeah, it's +1 per roll.
Okay, so roll a d8, add 1, and then roll as much as you want to a limit of your level.
Okay, let's go. 1. So that's 2.
Yeah.
5. So 7. 12. 16. 22, and the last roll. Well, I got it full. So I spent all of them and I got to full.
All right, excellent.
Okay.
Excellent. I don't know actually if it says if you take a short rest, if you can say that you're using hit dice to heal yourself on D&D Beyond. Let me just check with another character. Short rest.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. It says here how many you. So you can select short rest, and then you can check how many hit dice you've used.
Okay. Well, I used them all, so we'll.
There you go. But so for the next long rest, you'll get 3 of your hit dice back, and then for the other long rest, you get another 3 back. But 3 at this point is the maximum amount of hit dice you can regain after a long rest.
Yeah, gotcha.
Okay. So
I'm guessing Fluffles was the one who had that effect. Like I had a short rest with Fluffles on my throat.
There you go.
So
yeah,
it's very calming and soothing.
Yeah, and purring seems to motivate healing. So
yeah.
So you guys get up and travel. And by the way, Tarak, you are also, because you haven't been taking a long rest, you have 1 level of exhaustion, same as Caldo.
Okay, I'm gonna have to ask to recite what exactly exhaustion did. I can't recall it.
I believe you have disadvantage on ability checks.
Yeah.
But let me check.
No, the first level of exhaustion, I'm pretty sure, is ability checks, and the second level of exhaustion is more strenuous.
Yeah.
Disadvantage on ability.
It might be move as well.
Yeah, if on second level your speed is high.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's the second level.
Okay. So right now I just have the disadvantage
on ability checks. Yeah.
All
right.
Not saving throws, just checks.
Yeah. So you guys start walking, and you take your time, and it's already around 2 in the afternoon as you head out. So you are not able to travel that extremely far before it already starts to slowly get dark.
Yeah.
What do you guys do?
I think
during your journey.
Oh, during your journey.
Or in the evening. When do you take a rest and decide to?
I'd say that Tarak will be quite distant socially from everybody because this experience that he's had, even though he's kind of come down from it, it reminds him of a lot of headspace he's occupied in his past. And it's something that's kind of shaken him a little bit. So he's very much, he's kind of inside his own head right now, kind of dealing with stuff and not paying too much attention to the stuff outside of him.
All right. Yeah, same thing goes for Cal. So it'll be up to Ellie and Gemini and we be the social engine of this this journey.
Ellie's gonna walk up to
Wow.
Wheeler.
Yeah.
Thrilling
Such
stuff.
butterflies. Yeah.
You forgot to say something.
Who, me? What?
Wheeler,
Sorry. Oh.
you forgot to say something.
So, what?
I fixed your jacket?
Yeah, like 8 hours later.
But I fixed it.
I
When
could
I
have
said
went.
I would fix it.
I could have went, hunted an animal, skinned it, tanned the leather, and made a new jacket in the same amount of time.
Really?
To be fair, judging by your attempt, it doesn't appear as though you can hunt anything.
Exactly.
No, I was not hunting. Cal was hunting.
What were you doing?
I was just there to aim. He was the one trying to find the animals. If I had been the one trying to find the animals, we would have found the animals.
So your defense is I'm going to blame the sad man.
Yeah.
So your defense is I actually didn't hunt because I don't know how to hunt.
No, it was I didn't hunt because he was taking the lead. It would be rude. You can't have two hunters hunting at the same time beside each other. That would just be madness.
What
But I
would
wouldn't
hunt
expect
if
you
and
to understand
hunt
this.
go out together? And since when are you a hunter?
I have a crossbow. Duh. Did you not see me shoot that big feck off demon right in the ass like 3 times?
I saw
Yeah.
you get shot.
Kind of a big deal.
No. I'll believe that when I see it, and I haven't seen it.
Yeah, well, you wouldn't have seen me fighting that demon because you were too busy, getting battered about by it while I was, strategically placed behind a tree
I was
and shooting
fighting
out.
it. I was doing lots of damage.
Yeah, it looked like it. And then, like to Gemini, be like, I didn't. No, I didn't. But like really fucking obviously. Even like in like a fake thieves cant. Like not quite thieves count, but they're like, yeah, she really fucking didn't, but it was like translated to didn't, she did, or something like that.
Mage chance
It's like really.
Mage chance left.
Back mage hand high five. The sort of same thing that we did before, where step back and high five with mage hand.
Both roll your Arcana.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do I get advantage because I've done this shit before and knew it was coming?
Natural
Sure.
20 to 25.
Yes.
What?
No, highest is a boo.
You get slapped in the face with a magical hand, and as you you try to duck away, your own magical hand actually doesn't. It's not painful, but it also almost like slaps you in your face like that. Wait, this didn't go the way it was supposed to.
Fair.
I was just gonna laugh at that.
While they're doing that, I'm gonna walk up to Kel.
Have a deep and meaningful conversation.
And also, I'll mention that when they're doing all the magic hand stuff, Tarak will also kind of every once in a while just kind of try and like whip his hand about to try his hand business.
Hell yeah.
All right, yeah, sure. You walk up to Cal.
Cal, you do realize you'll get another bowstring.
I do.
But this was his bowstring. There are many bowstrings like it, but this one is his.
But then why do you appear so upset currently?
He looks around. I don't know if if Optic actually wants to share this type of information.
Speaking for Optic, I would say probably not.
No, exactly.
No, knowing his playstyle, it's
He looks around. Says, I'm fine.
No.
It's like he's back in the room.
It's probably nothing.
But you're not fine. You do not sound like yourself.
Fuck off.
You sound somehow Dutch.
Fuck off.
Oh, that was quite good. Well done. Bit stereotypical, but not bad.
No, but also you have weapons. Yes, what weapons do you have?
I believe he has scimitars.
Yeah, he has 2 scimitars and 2 daggers.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I checked earlier.
So you appear to really want to use that bow, which I understand. Magical items are fantastic. And I have some experience in Arcana. And you have 2 scimitars. And I have 2 scimitars. What I'm getting at here is I would like for you to teach me how to use the scimitars I have in a more proficient manner. And I will help you figure out that bow. Which, by the way, I gave you, but, let's not bring that up.
Sure.
Excellent. Then,
Optics joined the call. What?
I propose tonight we take first watch, and you teach me to scimitar, and I will try to figure out what's going on with that bow.
How would that go about?
The first half, you teach me to sword dance. The second half, I try to fix your magic bow.
How would you fix it?
Well, I am a bit of a specialist when it comes to magics. I don't know if you've heard, I kill people with my words.
Are you gonna sing it better?
I could. I've done it before, ask Tarek.
Please, do you know what? Sorry, this. If this happens in like the next session and you have time to prepare, have you ever watched Father Ted?
No.
No. Okay. What? There's an episode, even just YouTube, Father Ted, My Lovely Horse.
Okay.
There is a song called My Lovely Horse that they sing in that. You need to do that song with My Lovely Bow.
I have it written down, and I will look into it. There we go.
Seeing as I don't know how open Optic would be for this, I'll reply in this, I'll think about it.
Good enough for me. You carry on being perfectly fine. And Jonah's gonna kind of roll his eyes and walk away.
All right. So, you guys move onwards. It becomes evening. How early or how late do you guys set up camp?
Well, it kind of would depend on how bad Tarek's looking, I'm gonna assume, because he's the one that looks the worst and has had the least rest.
Yeah, he looks withdrawn and well, there's maybe just a slight less spring in his step as there usually is, but he definitely isn't slowing anybody down. You even have the idea that he's
Okay. Of course.
Oh.
We
I don't know,
are the
even-
ones setting the pace, Wheeler.
Yeah, well, that's true. I don't know. I think Wheeler seeing how bad Tarek was beaten up by it, and he didn't have that long to last. I think Wheeler would be like, even just like kind of like, "Jeez, I'm tired. I think we should set up camp." But really, he thinks that Tarek could probably do with a bit of a lie down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gemini will join in with that. Be like, oh yes, it's been quite a day and quite a walk.
Yeah, and don't you need to make like dinner?
I need to make dinner and lunch, and we have missed so
Yeah,
many meals.
Exactly.
Like
we need to
all
eat, I think.
of the meals. I've actually, and he sort of like pull at his trousers. I've lost weight. I've lost weight since this morning.
We should.
all right.
Yeah. Let's set up camp over there. It looks nice there. Points out the nicest spot.
Oh, over there. I don't know about over there. I quite like over there. It looks nicer, a bit flatter.
No, it stinks over there.
And then what about that city just like right there? I think
Is there a
that's.
city there?
I don't know. I thought you were just making up spaces. They're like, oh, that place looks good. I thought I'd see how far we could go with it.
Yeah.
Oh, look, and there's a portal right there, and there's a wizard who seems to really like fire waving at us and giving the finger to
temple that
Gemini.
we need to get to right over there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now you guys set up camp and you make yourself comfortable. There's some cooking going on, and there's some rest. And I want to take a little skip. You guys will travel for about 2 weeks.
Just as an aside, every time we stop and we have like some chill time, Wheeler will legitimately try and teach Tarok Magic Hand. He'll just like keep practicing with him and showing him how he learnt it, and just keep doing that just throughout the. As long as he wants, obviously. If Tarok doesn't care or stops caring, then he'll stop. But for as long as Tarok's interested, he'll like try and show him how to do it.
Yeah. The magic hand seems to be very like practical and say straightforward kind of first step to learning something about magic. Really, so Tarak will be very much interested in that, but still he will spend most of his time being less jolly perhaps than he usually is. He will have a lot of those Conan the Barbarian just sitting and resting his face on his fist, kind of pondering moments. Again, spending time in his own head, kind of introspection stuff. But yeah, so I'm gonna get my hit dice back, and after all that, all those long rests that were bound to be going through. Yeah, that's mostly what I'll be doing through that.
And you, Ellie and Gemini?
Gemini will keep pestering Cal to try to teach him sword stuff, and he'll try to look at his bow whenever he can. And he'll check in on Tarek from time to time and be like, hey, are you okay? And have conversations and try to kind of coax out what's going on.
Yeah, Tarek won't really go into like any personal detail, but he'll kind of like brush it off, like, "Oh, I'm fine, brother," and but he'll be the same little bit later on.
I want to have that conversation now.
Well, I don't mind.
Yeah, go ahead. If you want to have the conversation, that's fine.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll just start from the beginning. Tarek, you've been quite withdrawn lately. You're not so much with the brother and the oils. What's happening?
Well, nothing really. I'm fine. It's just contemplating the experience.
Well, that's the thing. After that experience and knowing it can happen again, none of us are fine. You realize this, yes?
I suppose so. Not really that knowledgeable about what everybody else experienced.
We walked through a corridor of spikes that ping-ponged us around the room until we went to a door with a spiked handle, and we were lost for quite some time. It does not appear to be nearly as traumatic as what you went through. But I know a little about trauma, and I don't think you're okay.
Oh, that's one person's opinion, I suppose.
Well, technically, I'm kind of two people. So you do have a second opinion, and I concur with me.
Well, if that eases your mind, then you can feel free to interpret the situation however you like, but I don't see it.
You were hired to protect me,
That's right.
which means I am supposed to put literally the trust of my life in you.
That's right.
And Whether or not you accept, that road does work both ways.
I can see that.
I won't force you to talk about anything you don't want to. I wouldn't want that to happen to me, but if you do want to talk, or if you need anything, I'm here.
I don't see it being that relevant because you can rely on me fighting till I have no breath left in me. For that, you can be sure.
Well,
As
then
long as
allow
there's
me.
still a drop of blood to spill for my guts, I'll be fighting. Right now, I'm fighting for you.
Yes, and that is noble and kind and generous. But don't you think that I should be allowed to repay that favor? It is a heavy debt to carry for me.
Your sister is already paying for it.
But my sister is not me. By doing that, she knows our childhood. She knows I don't care to be watched over, and she knows why. So, whatever is after me is a heavy burden, not just for her, not just for you, but for me. And I feel like now I owe you. I owe you a lot. And while I can be unscrupulous and I can be a bit of a thief, I do pay my debts. And I would like to be allowed to pay this one.
You can pay it back to the world. Do
Fuck the
some.
world. The world's not protecting me from murderous drow elf assassins.
Oh, well, I don't know. Doing this line of work.
He looks like he's about to like open his mouth to continue that sentence, but he kind of
I get it. I get enough pay from pride I take in my work.
Well, if that changes, and if you feel the need to confide in someone, you can trust me. Just know that. That's all.
I'll kind of like nod my head while looking down, and I'll look up at Gemini, and I'll just do a little bit of a faint smile and just
Thanks, brother.
You're welcome, brother. And Gemini walks away.
and after a little while, Tarak will kind of go a little bit further off, and again kind of rest his head on his fist.
All right.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Um, yeah, yeah. I'm not gonna describe Tarek's like mental side too much. Not yet, at least, because it's yeah.
Ellie at night, or like when they're at camp, is gonna uh, partly spend some time talking to Fluffles and write in her journal and stuff. Mostly write in her journal, because she probably talks to Fluffles quite a bit as they walk. Um, and she's gonna, when people like busy doing other stuff like Wheeler's cooking, Gemini's maybe trying to talk to Tarak and stuff, or doing his patches, and Cal might be out hunting because they need some food for dinner. She's just gonna take her time for herself and try to use her new magic she's used in the fight against the demon and haven't really figured out yet. And she's not gonna figure out why she can't just use them at a tree, because the spells both say that she needs to see a creature, and that tree isn't really a creature, or at least not most trees, and she's not getting it to work, and she's not understanding it, and she doesn't like that feeling.
Gotcha.
So she's basically trying to practice the magic, but it's not really working.
Yeah. So as you practice your magic, you'll notice that this new type of magic that you discovered
Yeah.
is exactly that. It's new. It's not identical to the magic that you inherently have.
Yeah.
This seems to where the magic so far has come from inside of you. It's now is coming through you.
Yeah, and that's gonna make her confused, and she's gonna just be using her normal spells somewhat, so there might be some flashes of fire and whatnot, which I don't know if the others pick up on. But she's gonna be like comparing the spells and comparing how it feels and try to figure out why can't she just use it on a tree. But she doesn't really want to use it on one of her party members to like test it either, because that feels very, very mean.
Can I roll perception to see if I see that?
You see what?
The fire, her trying to light fires and stuff.
Yeah, she.
Oh yeah, there's probably some moments where you see her do magic stuff.
Yeah, like she can probably see. You can probably see. Oh, wait, that's one. No, a creature. Like you can probably see a firebolt going off once or twice. Because that one she's pretty comfortable with. She knows she can use it, and she uses it like a measurement of comparison.
Is it just shooting off into the forest, or are you shooting at like a specific?
No, into the forest. That like something that doesn't look like it will catch fire, and if it does catch fire, she can probably snuff it out really quickly.
Gemini's good. If he sees this, he's, oh God, what is it? Where is it? What's happening? Is it a demon? What are we fighting?
Does he see it?
If he
I don't
sees the
know.
fire.
How sneaky are you trying to be about it?
Well, she's not sitting at camp. She'll probably just say, "I'm just gonna like take a walk around and walk off like maybe 30, 40 feet just."
Okay.
So not very far, but if there's trees, will be harder, of course.
Yeah, but fire bolts are easily seeable,
Yeah.
especially if it's getting a little bit darker.
Yeah, and she's
So,
not gonna
yeah.
think about this, but she's gonna use it.
Yeah, so Gemini will definitely notice it. Everybody will definitely notice it.
Yeah, just run out there. What's happening? What is it? What are we fighting? Are the drows back? Demon? What is it?
No, I'm just practicing.
Practicing what?
Fire?
Why?
Why not?
It's the middle of the night. We're on
Not
high alert.
yet.
There are assassins. Okay, it is close to the middle of the night. There are assassins after us, and
Yeah?
there's a demon that can suck our souls into a hell dimension.
Which is why I'm practicing.
Could you give us some warning?
I'm gonna practice.
Thank you.
It's not my fault I wanna know my new magic. Go
What?
back to bed.
New magic? New magic? What is this?
No, I did not say anything.
What? Oh, I
Fire.
heard the words.
I got fire.
At me?
No,
I was forged of this.
A fire?
You merely adopted the fire. I was born in it.
Yeah.
You were born in fire?
Yeah, gold dragon. Gold dragonborn. I'm fine.
Oh yeah.
Are you
I mean,
shooting
it's very
fire at him?
pretty. No.
Oh, you're not fine. You get half damage.
I'll be fine.
No.
No,
What?
What is this new
What
power?
do you know about gold dragons?
Well, having been born as one, I would say a lot.
Okay, because I'm turning golden.
Yes. My influence is good on you.
Not sure it's your influence.
It's always my influence.
I think it's the magic.
Ooh,
And she's
okay.
gonna do like the eye thing, like she's calculating magic. Yes, magic. That magic.
So, okay.
Yes.
Here's something I've been meaning to ask you. How does your magic work? Vince studied for years.
Yes.
right? Baron
Yes.
has Calimbor, right?
Yeah. Yes.
I am Gemini, so
Yes.
innate magic. You, how?
Innate magic.
I don't believe you.
What you gonna do about it?
Keep asking questions until you tell me the truth.
But if I tell you the truth as I know,
Wait, what?
what if I tell you the truth as I know it?
Then I suppose that's the truth. What is the truth as you know it?
That some magic comes easier than other magic, and that they feel different.
How?
Like, mm, like different, like some things I can just do, like we talked about before, and that's kind of, it comes kind of more from within, or like, yeah, from like within.
Do you pray to some deity? Did you make
No,
a sacrifice? A blood sacrifice? Virgins, children?
we've been over this before. No, not really.
Okay. So
Uh,
you just have magic inside you.
Yeah, and then there's the newer magic that feels different.
See, that's the one I'm interested in. What's that about? Did you make a pact with the demon?
No,
It's
I
a
did not make a
question.
pact with the demon. It was rude.
Okay. How is it rude?
It tried
It's
to
a
kill us.
question. Exactly.
That's why it was
What?
rude.
Oh, it was rude. I thought you meant my question. My questions
No.
are never rude. So
Yes, they are sometimes.
never. So
All
this
the
new
time.
never. So this new magic.
Yeah.
Always when he's speaking.
What about it?
What when did it start? Do you have any concept of where it came from? What does it do?
I think it hurts people
It hurts people.
if I use it on them. It's like fire. It also hurts people if I use it on them.
So how is it different from your old magic? That's what you've always done.
Always is a big stretch, but I mean,
Always.
it's like not from within me and more like through me.
Like you're a tool.
No, I
You're a
don't feel
tool.
controlled by it. You're a tool.
You don't feel controlled by it, but it passes through you as though it were not your own power.
Maybe? I don't know. I haven't used it since the fight with the demon.
What did it do in that fight?
Damage, I think. It was green instead of golden.
Green.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe we should ask Vern about this when we see him.
No, I think it will be fine.
Yes, I don't.
Well, Honey's magic was always green. Maybe it goes in the family.
Maybe, but the problem is you don't know how to control your magic. Accidentally invaded my thoughts.
That was my magic. That was the original magic.
So that was the magic that is yours, which means it should be the magic you have more control over, does it not? Yes, my logic is flawless. I'm Gemini.
No.
Yes, 100%.
No.
If this magic is being used through you like a
No,
conduit...
I'm using it through me, not someone else.
Your words make no sense. I do not trust this. I am telling Baron.
He's not even here.
I will tell him when I see him.
It's fine. I feel fine.
Yes, that's what all addicts say.
Speaking from experience.
Yes! Obvious. Do you not know me?
So you're absolutely sure?
I snorted a man!
Which is weird. And it gives
Yes.
you absolutely no moral high ground.
It does not give me moral high ground. I've never
No.
claimed to have moral high ground. It gives me knowledge of what is happening. I am more experienced than you. Both
Okay,
in
so
magic
what is
and in
happening?
being an addict.
So what is happening?
That's the problem. Somebody who's more experienced does not know, so he wants to go to somebody who is even more experienced.
I mean,
Gemini out. Gemini bowed out.
and as he walks away, she's just gonna whisper under her breath, so he might not hear it, or he might, because she's being like kind of about it. I did say yes to the tree.
Wait, what? Didn't say yes to what? Oh, I didn't catch what you actually said.
Oh, she will say, I did say yes to the tree, but really like muffled under her breath.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know if he would try to listen or if he
I
is
think
like
at that-
done. So I'm just walking away.
Yeah, I think at that point Gemini's done.
All right.
Yeah.
So you guys travel for a little over a week, and you start to notice something at the end of this, about say 8 days of travel. It's getting colder. And
Are we traveling north?
Yes.
All right, cool.
And you've been noticing this for a few days now, but you start to notice that it's slowly getting closer to the point where, especially during the night, it's becoming somewhat uncomfortable cold. By the way, meanwhile, during this travel, Cal has managed to find some hunting animals and stuff to reconnect his bow, so he should be okay.
Yeah, I told you everything would be fine.
He nods.
Gemini.
Just at nights for Wheeler to keep himself warm, he uses. You can use prestidigitation to chill or warm or flavor up to 1 cubic foot of non-living material for 1 hour. He just warms up his blanket.
Yeah.
Anytime he wakes up, his clothes is shit.
Ellie, every time Wheeler's been kind of rude to her right before bedtime, which might not be every night, but every time he's been rude, she's
Oh,
gonna
you're
use
cutting
prestidigitation to make the area around his feet extra cold.
There you go.
And then she's also gonna use it to heat up her blanket and anyone in the party that will ask. Or that looks cold. And at night she would have said loudly that she's gonna go practice. And that she will scream if there's a problem. And she is gonna figure out that there's 2 spells that she can use that also feel slightly different, even though they're not harmful spells. Yes, but I'm not gonna say which, because nobody else knows.
So, as you guys continue northwards, Kel seems to... Oh, hello.
Oh,
It's alright, he was having connection issues.
I thought someone
okay.
joined and was like, no, we can't have somebody joining, my screens are gonna be messed up.
No, it's Shin. He's having connection issues, so he's dropping out and joining back.
Sorry everybody for the messed up screens. Hopefully it will be sorted shortly.
Should be back now.
In a moment.
Hello.
He's quiet.
It's
Yeah,
me.
we hear you.
Okay.
Yes. We see a
There's just
profile
no
picture.
video. But...
It's a brilliant duck face you got going on there.
Yeah, thank you. All right.
Yeah.
There we go. I think everything's fine. Okay, sorry about
Yeah, you're welcome.
No worries, no worries.
My screens are fine.
that.
So, as you guys travel onwards, the first one to probably really start to notice it mostly just because of your lack of clothing, is Tarak. You'll notice that, especially during the night, ice and stuff start to form, and there's in the mornings there's a light white haze over the over the nature.
Um, I'm sure Tarak might have seen people, especially people in the kind of gladiatory kind of place where martial arts are practiced, seeing people use intense heat or intense cold to kind of train up their self mastery and pain resistance and all that, like punching into hot coals
Mhm.
or things like that, or taking ice baths or anything of that sort. So even though he notices it, I'm guessing there's no supernatural element to it that
No.
seems off to him.
You're pretty sure that this is just nature.
Yeah, gotcha. Well, in that case, Tarak will approach it mostly out of this kind of um, like it actually like helps him to focus on his like bodily self instead of his mental self, and he will take it as an opportunity to hone his self mastery, his willpower, mind
All right.
over matter, and all that by just meditating through the cold.
All right, gotcha. Okay, so you guys continue onwards more north as you go. Cal knows, or seems to know, or at least have an indication of what direction you need to travel. And close to, I would say, close to 2 weeks, so about 13 days have passed. And you guys will notice that snow is more frequent than not. And I don't know what type of clothing you guys are wearing, but prestidigitation is definitely cast a lot to keep yourself warm and to make it at least travelable for all of you.
Ellie is wearing all her spare clothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, Gemini has on. He does real bad in cold. He's grew up in a humid climate, so he's got on common clothes. He's got on like that cloak that he found, the one that was all torn up. He has that on over his shoulders, and then he also has on a layer of clothes that some of you might recognize. It's like a white tunic with like gold inlay. It's very fancy, and some of you may or may not recognize it, depending on where you're from. But it's like very, very fancy clothing that he has on. But he tries to kind of hide it underneath all of his other stuff. But you know, when you're in that close of quarters, you can't really hide it too well.
Yep.
Can I roll for it?
Sure.
History?
Yeah, I was wondering the same thing if I'm from the place where his sister hangs out, if it's related to anything like that.
No, because Ellie's been training in the capital, so she's seen a lot of shit there. Anyway, 21.
21.
Yep.
And you, Tarak?
What was it? History?
History or just intelligence?
Oh, okay. Well, that's bad.
Yeah.
It's -1 regardless. So 8.
8. No, it doesn't immediately ring a bell with you. Ellie, however, has a pretty good recollection of where you might have seen this before.
Yeah? Where have I seen it
It's
before?
it's like very high end garb from Endura, like royal garb, like very, very high end, like lords and stuff wear this.
So she's just gonna, like, the first time she saw it, she's probably just gonna, like, wait, did I really see that? And then she's gonna start, like, looking sneakily, and be, like, sidling up slowly. And in the end, be like, Gemini?
Yes, what's it called? So, can you mend this thing on my back? It's so cold. Fuck. Why? Why does the earth do this?
Can almost see the steam coming out of his mouth.
She will try to mend the tattered clothes, and then cast a little bit of extra prestidigitation on his feet, and chest.
Thank you.
Oh.
Oh, this is good. Yes.
Is what did you say? Tunic?
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
tunic, like a white
yeah.
tunic with gold inlay. Yeah.
Have you, except the tattered cloak, have you stolen any of the clothing that you're wearing?
Yes, of course. God, what? Why? What?
The tunic too?
Yes. What? 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 Which? I have. Well, because like he has his leather armor, then that tunic, then over that's common clothing,
Yeah.
then his jacket, then the thing. So he's like these common. No, these
No,
these
the
are just
white
common.
one.
White. I don't understand what. It's
gold.
too cold to hear you. I'm so sorry.
She's gonna prestigate his head. A bit Gemini.
Yes. What?
Are you royalty?
No,
She will
what?
ask it kinda quietly.
No, I'm not royalty. If I was royalty, why the hell would I be out here? I would be in the lap of luxury, getting fanned by naked women and men and being fed grapes.
Why are you wearing royal clothing then?
I'm not. These are common clothes.
No, under that.
Oh no, it's happening again!
A precipitation cold in his face.
Oh fuck! God, why? Why are you like this? Who made you like this? Wheeler, is this your fault?
Yeah. What?
Your sister is a devil woman.
Wrapped up in his cloak and like scarf and all. He's not a fan of the cold neither, and his feet are fucking freezing. Yes, I know. What do you want?
Save me! She's making it colder. What is wrong with her?
She wouldn't have made
None
it
of
super cold.
things.
Just slightly, remove the heat she just added cold.
It's
Which is
so cold. I hate this. I hate every aspect of this. This is the worst.
Excuse me.
Yes. What? Huh?
You see from a ridge where some trees are standing and stuff, you see a dwarf standing there in thick wintry clothing. You see this massive beard is out from under it, and there's some ice in it and stuff. And he has this big fluffy hat on, which keeps him really warm. Says,
Gemini's gonna look right at him. Hold me, fluffy stranger! It is cold!
would you mind keeping it down? I'm trying to hunt.
No.
Sorry.
Sorry, do you have a jacket, spur, coat, halfling size, same height as you? It's fucking cold.
He looks at himself, he looks at you. Is that an insult? He's taller than you.
No, just need something roughly my bit bigger. Your size is brilliant. I could wrap it around me loads of times because you're obviously so huge and much stronger than me.
You see his eyes kind of squeeze. They're already kind of tiny, but you see these sharp, bright eyes in there. He kind of looks at you, looks at Gemini, looks at Tarak.
Ellie's gonna hide behind Tarak for a moment. And
Looks at Cal, and you see his face kind of.
And she is gonna super quick cast Alter Self on herself and make her look like her normal, not golden self.
All right.
Before he really gets a chance to really look at her.
And you step forward then, or do you
Yeah.
keep hiding behind the
After
tower?
she's like, done it, she's gonna step forward. Just it seemed like an accident that she was behind the big guy, and we're like, who's this? Like,
He sees you, Ellie, and he
Yeah.
goes, "What are you all doing here? Don't get a lot of travelers."
Freezing my scrotum off!
No, that's not what we're doing. We're traveling. We're trying to
That might
find...
not be what you're doing.
We're trying to find a temple.
Yes, we're trying to find the people of Kellenwer. People? Priests? Paladins? Order?
Clerics.
Order! Have you heard of them?
He nods.
And she's
Can you Tell us where it is. Is it nearby? Is there a village anywhere? We did not come ready for the winter
Ellie
or the
will
cold
walk
up here.
a bit closer so she doesn't have to scream and shout.
He looks at you and it kind of jumps down, and he moves with relative ease for somebody who's packed in such thick and warm clothing. Who might you be, lassie?
I'm Ellie. That's short for my very, very long name. It's usually not appreciated when I start telling it.
Name's Odgrin. He
Od-
extends his hand.
Odgrin,
Yeah,
nice to meet you.
good to meet you.
These are my friends I'm traveling with.
You sure about that? He looks at some of them.
Yeah, they're a bit strange, and some of them are a bit dramatic.
Hold me.
But but we've been through a lot. And we had a friend that was with us too. But he left, so we're trying to find him.
You see his hand kind of sink into his coat, and you see him just pull something out, and you see this strange-looking water bag, and there's actual steam kind of coming off of it, and he looks at you, Gemini, and just throws it towards you,
He hugs it with his entire being.
and you
Beetle
feel
midair.
that there appears to be warm water in there. You just
I swear an oath of fealty unto you. You are my lord.
As I said, bit dramatic. Could you
He
tell?
points at Tarak. Who's he? He seems to have orc blood in him.
Really? Well, I hadn't noticed. Have you got another one of those water bottles?
He's pretty cool. Like, the first time I met him, I thought he was totally scary, but he helped us defeat some drow people. I think they're called, like, really dark elves that were attacking us. And he's, like, being really helpful. He even helped us take down a demon.
A demon?
Long story.
While they're
We beat
talking
it.
about
You?
while they're
Yeah.
while they're talking about Tarak, he will be kind of in the back line. He will have his hands on his hips, and whenever the dwarf looks at him, he will be flexing his upper body musculature in an effort to use passive intimidation.
Roll your intimidation.
Oh, okay.
I don't know, is Tarak still like half naked?
Yeah.
Yes.
Jesus.
Yeah.
What? How many? What damage does his nipples do? They
Yeah.
could probably cut.
Piercing damage.
1d12. Yeah.
Putting people to death.
That's 18 in total.
18.
All who gaze upon them.
You're trying to intimidate him?
Hmm?
You're trying to intimidate him?
Yeah, but just in this kind of a passive way, not like just scare him or anything. Just give an aura of something that demands respect.
He looks. You all don't seem very prepared for this type of weather.
We didn't know it was gonna be this cold.
Yeah.
I mean, if someone says it's to the north, you don't expect it to be this far north, but apparently
He starts to unbutton his coat.
it's... do you know if there's like a village nearby? Somewhere?
Nope. I mean, I do, but there's not. He starts to take off his coat. You see, like, it's this thick, and it's just like there's fur on the inside, and he starts to pull it off, and you see this quite muscular physique coming out from underneath it, and he just
Damn, he's thick.
and he just
Now we're talking.
hangs his coat on you, Ellie, and you just feel this weight, like you sink a bit deeper into the snow as the coat just
Well,
leans on your shoulders.
that's a really big coat.
Tarak will recognize his musculature and give him a nod in like this hell yeah, brother, without of course saying it out loud.
Come on then. Wouldn't be good for me to keep you out here in the cold. Follow me.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
He starts walking, and in the beginning you can tell that he's okay-ish with the
Yeah.
cold, but as you guys walk and he's just plowing through the snow, you can tell that it's getting to him. He's also like, oh, it's cold.
Hang on. I can make you a bit warmer. If you don't want your coat back, I mean, I will make it.
I'm fine. Come on. And it's not like he's sure he still has a
Yeah.
thick thing under, but the coat was definitely his primary defense against the cold. You, Gemini, are pleasantly surprised that this water bottle, as you guys are walking for about half an hour now, it seems to continue to give off this heat. So you're like, oh gosh, oh. You're like kind of swooning over it, like,
That's correct.
putting it in spots where you better not tell him that you put it there, probably.
The things.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So everybody keeps moving on, and after a while, you see near a big oak, you see a cottage kind of built against the oak as well, and it's clearly a dwarf-sized cottage, and you'll notice that there are tanning racks and stuff out in front of it, and it looks well organized, but there's still a lot of snow. But there's a little path leading towards the door.
Is it more of a living arrangement or like a hunter's hut?
It's more living arrangement. It's clearly not just for work. There seems to be. It's too big to just be a hunter's hut. As he is quickly moving, you can see there's
Audio cut
he
out.
just.
Your audio
You
cut
cut
out.
out.
Is it back?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You see him moving towards the door, blue on his hands here, and he just grabs a key and unlocks the door, and goes inside, or opens the door and says, "Come on inside quickly."
Ellie will heed his call and go inside.
Yeah, same.
Same, absolutely.
All right. So you guys enter his. As you enter into the kitchen, and it's not extremely big, especially with all of you guys in there. But there's room, and more importantly, there appears to be some heat. It's not as warm as you would want it to be, but he starts to immediately start to stoke up the fire in the stove, and there's some chairs over there in the living room. Bring them in here, and we'll talk.
Gemini grabs a chair,
All right.
Yes, same.
holds the water bottle.
Ellie's
there's-
gonna give back the cloak.
He just hangs it up, and there's about three chairs here, but the rest of you bring a chair from the living room. As he starts to kind of pour some water and stuff and make things ready, and he has his back to you guys. You can see on his back he's wearing well kept and well mended clothing, and there's a nice big leather belt, and there's a large dagger knife on his back, which is clearly mostly used for tools. And he just starts working and has a big kettle on and starts to pour out some drinks once it's hot.
I forgot to say, but I would have liked to use a sorcery point when I cast the altar self,
All right.
so it lasts for the double amount of hours.
Okay, there you go.
How long did we walk?
About half an hour or so.
Okay, good.
So he pours, and there's a tea of sorts is poured in cups, and as much as you might like it, you might not. Depends on you. But it's definitely the warmth of the cup that is giving off now is most pleasant.
Mm.
As he stands there and kind of leans.
Thank
Says,
you.
Thank you.
"You're welcome.
This is very kind of you.
What's all your names?"
I'm Wheeler.
Gemini.
It's like sort of pulling his coat off a bit as the heat's getting in.
Tarakov Akkur.
Cal. All right. My name's Otgrin. This is my house. I'd ask you to treat it with respect.
Do you have a brother called Normal Grin? Sorry, it's a terrible joke. He doesn't actually say it.
Or does he?
Odd, because odd grin, normal grin. Do you
You're a
Do you
terrible
get it?
person.
I
You're
just don't
such
think
a
it's very
terrible
funny.
person.
do you get?
Yeah, these Southerners.
So, what brings you here? You're looking for a temple?
Yeah. Yeah. Looks at Gemini because he also started to speak.
We kind of side eye and make sure it's okay to talk because he's so cold, like he doesn't really want to move. But he'll yes, we're looking for our friend. It is a cleric. He's a paladin of Kellenvor. The clerics, they apparently have their base out here or their chapel. I don't know, but yes, we're looking for them.
Yeah. I know where they are. It's a couple of days' travel from here.
That's not too bad.
No? It's not too bad if you're dressed for it.
Oh.
But you guys clearly are not.
Well, no, what's I said? We weren't quite prepared that it would be this cold.
Hmm.
We haven't really walked by any settlements, really, on the way here. So we haven't really, well, not the way we walked at least.
Hmm.
Okay, Kel.
So we haven't been able to ask us ahead really either. So we kinda, I guess we assumed it would be like normal for us environment, which is quite a bit warmer, unless it's winter. But it shouldn't be winter yet. Not where I live. I talk too much.
That's okay. Well, I'll see if I can fix you guys up. Why don't you stay here for the night, and I'll get you something to eat, and I'll probably have some furs and things that you can warm yourself on the journey.
That would be very, very kind.
Thank you.
Do you have something that needs fixing? I'm really good with tools, and I can like mend things too. Magically, it keeps you in case you have something, in exchange.
Very kind of you, but I make sure that my tools and everything I need is well kept.
Well, as soon as you were talking about food, do you want a hand? Not to toot my own horn, but quite the wizard in the kitchen.
Elias rolls her eyes at this.
He looks at you and says, "No offense, Master Halfling, but food in these parts isn't something that we come by easily. So if I let you do the cooking, I'm afraid I'll go through half rations for a year."
Yeah,
Yes.
fair enough. But at least here, and they'll sort of hook through his bags and pull out like any spices and stuff that he has, and like just give not like enough for the meal, but like enough for him for a while. Like we've got like sort of maybe half what I've got, and just be like, oh, here's just as a like thank you. And I was like, here, take these, really good. Use them as is.
Yeah,
takes
Jim
them
and I'll
and-
take out
Oh,
5
thank you.
rations and give them to him.
What? Sorry, I'm not familiar with this.
That one's
Spices?
really good. Yeah, that one's really good with rabbit. That one, if you got some venison or deer or something there, very good. That one, just good with everything. Just chuck it on. It's great.
Thank you very much. Carefully puts it in certain spots in the kitchen. Drink your tea. I'll start getting food ready.
Tarak
Thank
feels
you.
kind of like he doesn't have anything to contribute to show gratitude, so he's just taking firewood and elbow smashing them into smaller bits to start fires easier in the future.
Your gift could be not poking him in the eye with your turbo nipples.
I
guys
can
can tell
cut the firewood with my nipples.
yeah, 2 at a time.
He looks at you as you do this, Tarak, and he looks and says, "You, Tarak, would you be so kind? There's a couple more fireplaces in the living room over there, and some upstairs in the attic. You can warm them up there if you want. It'll be nice to have a little more heat in the house.
Sure thing, brother.
Thank you.
So,
You
what
indeed.
did you-
Sorry.
No, good, good.
No, you indeed find several fireplaces, and you start. I'm assuming make fire in all of them to start heating up the house.
Yeah.
All right.
So, talking to the man, to Odgren, so why are you so far out here, away from civilization? So cool.
It's not always that cold here, but well, I make my living here.
I'm a cannibal. I feed on strangers that come past.
Exactly. So, you hunt pelts and things of that nature, meat?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is like your home away from home, or?
No, this is my home.
Okay. Fair enough.
Not everybody needs a crowd.
No, of course not. But this just seems an odd place to seclude oneself. But I don't even know how one would go about beginning to deal with this and learning all the intricacies of surviving out here. It's impressive, is what I'm saying.
Oh, my family's been here for a long time, and well, I wouldn't want it any other way.
That's good. I understand that.
How's the water bottle treating you?
It's great. May I keep it forever?
Afraid not, but you hang on to it as long as you're here.
Thank you. Thank you.
He's meanwhile cooking, and you see there's a lot of meat, but also some potatoes going into a stew. And he's just chopping and cutting and making things, and you can clearly tell there's almost like this warm blanket slowly but surely passing through the kitchen, and as Tarak has the other fires lit as well, the house starts to become more livable, and there's a table here. It's not meant for this many people, but after a while, he lifts a big pot, and there's steam coming from it, and this is where he made his stew, and he just puts it on the table, and gets a ladle and starts to fill bowls of stew for all of you, and starts handing them out.
While I was kind of alone, smashing the firewood and lighting up the fireplaces, I was also making a point to try and again learn the mage hand technique by myself, thereby like smashing a firewood and trying to like break the smashed bits into two with mage hand or
Gotcha. Yeah. As you kind of pass through the house, you see that the living room is by no means comfortable, but there's more comfort there than it is in the kitchen. There is some mementos and things, and there are some weaponry hanging there as well. Um, so you kind of look around and you open the door to another thing to check if there's another fireplace that needs to be lit there, and you can tell there's a relatively sized room, and you see furs and things hanging there, drying, and there's indeed a fireplace there that you can lit, and there's a stairs going upstairs, and there's a pretty much to the left there's what appears to be some bedrooms, and to the right there seems to be uh, um, an open area or attic, if you would like, with some crates and boxes there. And there's a wall separating the two areas, but there's a chimney in the middle, and it's an opening to both sides, and it's one chimney spreading its heat to both areas.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna be focusing on what I set out to do here. I'm not gonna go and poke around where I'm not supposed to be.
All right. So after a while, you get back, and then at that point, pretty much the pot of stew is put on the table, and everybody gets a bowl, and he sits down and grabs his bowl as well and starts to. He kind of raises it. To your health, my guest.
Yes, you
And
too.
to yours.
He starts to eat it.
Gemini's
So-
just gonna stare at the bowl and keep warm. Basically, use it for warmth on his hands, just like.
If you don't mind me asking, I don't get a lot of travelers here. Well, why are you guys heading towards this temple?
Well, it's not that long of a story actually. I was gonna say it's kind of a long story, but it isn't because we had this like friend or member in the party, called Varian, and he was always kind of silent, but you know, we just thought he was a silent type, and I don't know. One night he was gone.
Gone.
Yeah, he had left. Did he leave a note? Actually, he left a note, right?
Yes, he left a note. Yes.
Yeah. And he left us a note, and he basically said that he didn't feel like he was strong enough. Um, trying to remember what's in the note. And
Something like that. Yes.
yeah, and like he couldn't bring his part to the strength to the party, but he didn't give us a chance to really tell him that we thought he was like a great part of the party. So we're trying to find him to tell him that
Hmm.
and convince him to come back because we like him.
Who's this Varen? Or what does he look like?
Mm, he's kind of big, kind of muscular. Uh, always wears an armor. Black scales.
Black skills.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Use a dragon ball like myself. Yes.
Ah. Right.
I forgot his eye color.
No, I don't know.
Hmm.
He's kind of tall, so I kind of don't really see his eyes all the time.
Right. I got you.
No, but we thought he was pretty skilled at least.
Yes. So,
Yeah.
Wheeler, you can get some more if you want. Here, let me help you. Gives Wheeler another scoop of stew. Anybody else want some more?
I can take a little bit.
There you go. He takes himself as well.
No, and I mean, leave without trying to find him, then he wouldn't have been our friend. But he was our friend, so we have to find him.
I get you. Hmm.
It's important.
Well, like I said, you're on the right way. It's a couple of days travel from here.
Yeah. It's very far away from everybody that you live.
Yeah, I don't really know what they're up there. To consider myself a lot with human religion.
Yeah.
Human.
We have that in common.
Yeah, we have our own gods, so I'm only mainly focused on those.
Yeah, no, I'm just surprised you said human religion because he's still Dragonborn.
Fair point.
Yeah, but that god that they worship, that's a human god, right?
I actually don't know.
I don't know either.
Oh, neither do I.
I didn't really study religion. I studied other things, but not
neither.
religion. So I mean, there's a lot of gods.
You're telling me.
That's the point. Is Tarok, are you a Gorker or a Morker? No? Oh, Warhammer fans. Boo. Darn. Alright. If we have anyone from knows Warhammer watching, they will be pissing themselves right now. Just
Well, Ogren is talking to Ellie and preoccupied. Gemini's gonna slide his bowl over to Wheeler. Be like, there you go. And just eat from his rations and be like,
Did he even
No,
touch
wait.
the food?
nope. Because he doesn't trust this guy. He's like, this guy's way too friendly. Yeah.
And Ellie's biting.
Yeah.
not everyone is a dick. Wheeler will happily warrant.
Yeah.
All right. After a while, he's finished. He looks around and says, "Let's have a drink, and then we should go to bed."
Sounds good.
If you don't mind, I may have to skip the drink this evening. I'm exhausted. But I thank you for your help and your kindness.
That's fine. That's fine. There's if you go up the stairs to the right, there's a place you can sleep. There's I don't think I have proper size sleeping bags or anything.
Oh, I
hope
have
you have
mine.
some yourself.
Absolutely. Thank you
Good.
so much. Upstairs
We-
to the right.
We do have
Yeah.
bedrolls and stuff because we do camp out a lot, just not in cold climate. So we're not completely unprepared.
All right then.
Even
All
though it
right.
looks like that.
How about the rest of you? You want a drink, or you heading to bed as well?
She's gonna give Gemini some shady eyes or shifty eyes as he goes away. Cause when the heck does he say no to a drink? And then but like, yeah, sure.
Cal kind of gets up and says, "Thank you, but I'll get some rest as well." So he kind of heads up as well. Fair enough. He starts to pour out drinks for the rest of you.
What kind of drink is he pouring?
It's a sort of a whiskey type of drink.
Okay. Well,
So he pours not like full mugs or anything because that's crazy, but just just some drinks, which just it's more for the uplifting and the warming things of it than actual getting a lot to drink.
yeah, I get it. Well, Tarak will join in having a drink.
All right.
Wheeler
He,
too.
he misses beer.
As soon as we get to the top of the stairs, Gemini's gonna creep over, make sure nobody's looking, paying attention. And he's gonna whisper to Cal, "Stand here and be lookout. I'm not going to steal anything. I just want to have a look. I don't trust people this nice."
Cal nods.
He's gonna creep around, just look around, see if he finds anything odd.
Are you looking in the living room, or are you looking
Oh, up
upstairs?
the stairs. As soon as they get
Upstairs.
upstairs, yeah.
Okay. All right. So you see, there's pretty much 3 areas there. 2 actual bedrooms. None of it is locked. There's 2 actual bedrooms. One that has a larger bed, dwarven size still, but clearly made for 2 dwarves. And there's one that is smaller, and it's much less organized as the larger bedroom. There's lots of stuff there, and you can tell that there's also a couple of weapons there. You see a hammer, which is clearly more for combat than for tool, and you see a spear kind of standing up against the wall. There's a shield there as well, and the bed is unmade, where the other bed is pristinely made.
Gonna take a peek under both beds.
All right, you take a peek under both beds. Roll your investigation.
Sure. Ooh, no, that's terrible. Let's see here. Investigation. That's like a 4. Yeah, that's real bad. That dice.
Under the big bed, there's nothing. Under the smaller bed, there is too much. You just Jesus. There's like all kinds of dirty clothing and stuff, and there.
Okay. And nothing smells odd, sounds odd. No crevices, nothing I can see.
No, and the third area is the attic area where there are crates and stuff stored and things, but they're all closed and they look well kept.
He'll kind of creep around, see if there's anything in any corners, see if he can lift one of the lids of the crate.
It's closed. It's nailed shut.
Okay. Well, doesn't appear.
And there are a couple of boxes which have locks on them, and
Gemini takes out his thieves' tools, looks at it, smiles, and then goes, "No, wait. He'll notice that. He'll notice if I unlock it. I could relock it. No, it's best not to pry. There doesn't appear to be anything odd here." Okay, and he'll just head back down to where Kala is after getting this thorough look he can.
you see Cal kind of standing in the shadow, kind of keeping an eye out for everything.
And be like, "Well, there are some odd boxes and quite a mess around his bed. I'm not certain what's going on with the boxes, but I chose not to be too invasive. So I say we try to get some sleep, but be wary."
All right.
Okay.
So the rest of you have a drink.
Yeah.
And it's pretty good if you like this kind of stuff. So it's strong.
Ellie is probably gonna smile through it and think it's a little bit too strong, but she's gonna like, I can do this. If Eli can do this, I can do it.
Nice.
All right. It's really good.
But she won't be saying like it's really good if we're more like, this is strong. This is fine.
All right. Oh, I have some furs and things that I might be able to craft into some more suitable traveling clothing for you guys. It will, however, mean that I won't be able to sell the fur to the market.
How much would you normally sell them for?
Depending on the fur, really. But, well, if you guys want them, I can make them for you, but, well, I don't have a lot of cash to just spend. I'd ask a small compensation for it.
Don't worry. As a group, we'll get our treasurer to pay for it. It's the half dragonborn guy, Gemini. He deals with the money. He'll
Fair
sort
enough.
it out.
was gonna say that I will see how like if you tell me how much they normally are, I will see what we have, what we can offer.
Mm-hmm. Well, I usually sell the fur, so I don't make the clothing just for myself. I don't make them and sell them then, but I'll make them for you guys. And but I sell the furs usually for about 7 silver per fur, generally speaking.
7 silver.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I will see what we can give you.
Yes, I'm sure
And-
Gemini can manage that.
You think?
All right.
I know he's got a fucking bag of holding of gold.
Excellent. Well, and if
He
that's
dives into it like Scrooge McDuck.
if that's okay with you guys, then I'll get to work on that, and you'll have them by the morning.
Oh, that would be amazing.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Get some rest, and I'll get to work.
Yes, thank you. And thank you very much for your hospitality. It's much appreciated.
Like I said, I don't get a lot of travelers here. When you do, you have to look after them.
Thank you. Oh, by the way, if you see me in the morning and I'm completely not completely golden, but quite a lot more golden, it's normal. It's a magic thing. I'm working on it.
Wheeler's just like, it's not normal, but it's fine.
Okay.
It's fine.
It's normal for the last past months. It's okay. I think I know what's going on.
Sure.
She does.
But it's nothing
Good
to
night.
worry about. Yes.
You all go upstairs, or does anybody stay, or does...
No. Ellie is
both.
hunting for Gemini.
All right. Wheeler, you go upstairs.
Yep.
Tarak.
I'm going to sleep.
All right.
In real life, or
So you guys go upstairs, and you Gemini, who's almost like in the fire, lying there, and you see Cal is just meditating.
Ellie is gonna go up to Gemini and she's gonna whisper in his ear, "If you tell me about your tunic, I will tell you about the tree." And then she's gonna walk off. And not give him a chance to reply.
And I'll kind of stir and just sit there and sigh heavily and hold the warm bladder.
And her plan is basically make his curiosity too big so he won't say no.
Fair enough. All right. So you all get some rest, and we'll pick it up next time.
yeah.
Ooh. Thank you for playing a cow. Yeah.
It's like he was. It's like he never left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had to get into it, but once I did, yeah.
Yeah.
And thanks
Yeah.
everybody for watching and tuning in.
For sure.
And if it's the first time you seeing this and seeing us and you enjoying it, follow us. Information on the bottom, and you will get a notification when we go live. We try to stream every week.
Yeah.
I say
Yeah.
try because sometimes it happens.
And be sure to join the Discord or hit us up on Twitter, because I think in this time we all need to be kind and nice to each other. And
Yeah.
if there's anybody that needs help or something, maybe there's something to do. And we might also look into doing a bit of extra streaming or stuff to just get everybody have fun.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Our videos can be found at YouTube, and I think that if you look up a pod, we might be on a pod somewhere. I don't know if they're still updating. We have some episodes somewhere, but not everywhere.
I think it's a few behind.
Yeah.
We might be a few behind. We're gonna put our IT section on this. pointing at Prince. Anyway, thank you all for watching. See you next Wednesday.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye.